I think the digital divide, if we think it's big now, is only going to become bigger. So unfortunately, at the Smart City Conference, I think if we're struggling with the digital divide now, it's going to get worse. Because who's going to teach people to read? If we haven't figured out by the second decade of the 20th century how to make the majority of the world's people literate, are we going to do it now? And our cell phone's going to do it? I don't know, because you have to be able to read to get your cell phone to work. So I find these things, I find the global village a total lie, because the world is much more diverse, and the more people there are, the less global village there is. Yeah, there's connectedness, but why do we still have wars if the global village was real? More wars, more conflict, more stuff like that. So smart cities are maybe seductive. I think they are seductive. I think those of us who can access them are highly privileged. This is a room full of really privileged people. And everybody in this room is probably in the top, what can we get consensus, 5 or 3% of the world's population? Maybe not in terms of our US dollar-based net capital asset worth, but actually in our ability to squeeze this world and harvest what it has to offer. This room, I think we're all in the top 5%. I want to go back to the Chinese Olympics in 2008. This was the then Adidas slogan for the Chinese Olympics. And it has this amazing audacity. And in my mind, this thing links to what smart cities promise, and they deliver to a few. Is that impossible is nothing. Nothing is impossible was easy. That's what your parents tell you. That's what your teachers told you at school. Your soccer coach goes, no, next time you can score 4 goals. Nothing's impossible. But the audacity to reverse that into the opposite of impossible is nothing. Like, we have no boundaries. In a resource-challenged world, I find it morally and ethically, actually ethically, moral is always tied in with God and other things. Ethically, reprehensible that there would be a global advertising campaign by a global brand that in a resource-challenged world where we should all be more responsible tells us that impossible is nothing. Nothing can't be overcome. There's nothing we can't do. Because as humans, we're capable of doing everything, but we don't take the cost into consideration, least of all the social cost often. So this is another one of the lies, and in my mind, it's also linked to the smart city thing. You can do everything, you can control everything, you can map everything, you can data mine everything, you can analyze everything, you can control everything through numbers. So I just wanted to put this up to share with you my personal view that I think when we get excited about these things, which is good, and we need to do it professionally. I need to do it as an architect. You need to do it as engineers, as environmental scientists, at whatever you do. We need to be aware that all of this comes with a package of seduction, of ideas, and that branding and the packaging of how the world functions in late capitalism is packaged through simple lies that simplify the complexity of the world. And they divert our discretion away into thinking that everything is good and everything's easy. That this is all easy. It's not. Cities are amazing and are the result of an incredible layered type of applied intelligence. And now we're putting technology onto it, which is great, but it's just one layer. Cities are already amazing, amazing things. So I love this thing that actually data makes its own landscapes and data makes its own technology. The smart city is based on amazing exploitative models of risk work, so it's great that the way we make a living has spread out. I never knew what a hackathon was until last night. I saw a video on smart cities last week going, people go to hackathons, and people are getting cheesed off in Stockholm about how many hackathons there are, and municipalities are trying to regulate what types of hackathons should happen. And programmers are picking fights with municipalities because who is the Stockholm City Council to tell us to not have a hackathon about how parks should work because they want one on transport systems. So immediately we back to technology comes out of the need to fight sex bombs and burgers. Hackers are fighting with municipalities about who gives whom the right to work for free to make these apps that manage the data that make the smart cities. So immediately we have a war in the smart city, and that's where the great technology comes from. But enough about that. I just find it amazing how models transfer and how the smart city is already replicating the economy we already know. I just got on the net, I got on LinkedIn, and there's huge spats around smart cities. People are going, oh, it was the biggest thing since sliced bread. Now people are slanging it off. We can't throw the baby out with the digital bathwater. This is about the conflict in Copenhagen or Stockholm of the right to map the usage of parks in real time so that citizens can engage in public forums with landscape architects around how parks should be designed. And the city, which is commissioning parks, doesn't want to be challenged. So they're going, we know how to design the stuff and you're getting great parks. Don't you guys come and tell us how to design them. We're already designing them for you and they're nice, so shut right up and go away. And citizens are going, no, we're going to map this. We're going to put sensors in there. We want 24-hour usage. So it's great. I mean, these are the debates that are coming. Are we as a society ready for those debates? I don't know. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean we're a bad society. I just think there are highly sophisticated societies with huge layers of fat and wealth and time and knowledge and access to resources that are getting into debates that are so high level that we can't possibly relate in the societies we live in on this continent, where there are whole other challenges that are much more important. So the question is, and again, I'm not standing here to say we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't explore it, we shouldn't do it with our clients. But how important is it, given the other importances, and we know what they are as infrastructure designing engineers, as architects. So we shouldn't be seduced. It's amazing. But the spats that are happening around this are like a proper storm in a teacup. It's quite pathetic. And it's already being regulated. And people are actively fighting about this thing. Advanced societies is where this stuff can be brought to bear and where citizens can process it and where people are educated enough to really get the benefits so that it doesn't just become a commercial product and a Nike ad. So I'm not saying we have to stop the one until we get the other right, but they have to happen together. So like the education has to get better and we need to have much better societal mechanisms, much better. I mean, South Africa actually has a strong what's it called? Civil society culture. So this is one of our assets. On this continent, we are one of the top countries in terms of civil society. We need to nurture that because if we believe in this technology, and even I can, and in its benefits, one of the things that this technology and the access to it and the power that comes with it and the ability for government not to clamp down on that power relies on is civil society as a barrier between us as powerful people and government that wants to control us because we're going to become uncontrollably powerful. So all of us should really look with the skills and time that we have, whether we can contribute to the civil society part of the society that we live in. And I include myself, like what am I doing for the other stuff, the non-business, whatever civil society means to you? What role do we as super privileged, super powerful people in our country play in civil society? I ask myself, I can't even say I'm a good guy, but I've been, like the smart city thing started me thinking about my role as a citizen. So I need to become an actor in another sphere. Smart cities don't begin with design, they begin with cultural practices and with societal structures, and they're not immediately about the application of technology. Cities are long-term projects and politics are always about short-term gain. And in the end, I always put this in, because in the end we want to build, we are still going to build housing, and in the end, when we've learned all this stuff and we've made ourselves all powerful and we're building whatever we want and we build these other work environments and you can go and live in the Karoo, okay, us with our technical skills are still trying to do this magic thing, okay? We live in this amazing creative industry where we design and build stuff. And this is the great love triangle of development and construction. For those who can't read Gaitan, you can't read Afrikaans, this is the great love triangle of construction. This is a sticker on the back of a bakkie, a little van, which says, we work according to time, quality, and price. You can choose any two. So our job in life is still to mediate this. Okay, our clients always want to win on all three. The reality of all projects and the future of everything we're ever going to develop is that at best, two of those things are in our favor, and we have to pretend about the third one. So, and for that, we need a lot of power, and we need a lot of power of persuasion, and we need to be able to seduce people. We need access to information so that we can keep on winning and making the societies we serve and the clients we serve believe that they're winning on all three, meaning short time, high quality, and low price. Choose any two. So we got our work cut out. We got a big, not a cross to bear, we got a big load to bear. I wouldn't call it a cross. And we live in this amazing country which has really simple truths that connect us all. And we don't have to buy into these lies. We mustn't be seduced by the wrong stuff. We must be seduced by the right stuff. And we must stop being afraid of the future. Thank you. Bye.